gonna fly home to Fairbanks, Alaska, my hometown. I haven't been back in almost 10 years. I'm gonna look around and try and write some stand-up material. I never talked about Alaska in my act before. I think it's about time. You can't just sum it up. Is it cold? Yeah, it's cold. Is it dark sometimes? Yes. Is it light sometimes? Yes. Yes, it is. Yeah. Crusty men with beards continued to roam the streets, getting drunk and violating prostitutes. Then, in 1959, Alaska was made a state. A few years later, one of the biggest oil fields in the world was discovered near Prudhoe Bay by the Exxon Company, which would go on to rape the ocean. In the meantime, people would flock to Alaska in search of cheap land, work, adventure, and a desire to evade their parole officers. In 1977, the Trans-Alaska Oil Pipeline was completed. My own dad worked on it. It pumps oil 800 miles through a giant pipe so it can ungratefully be consumed by the rest of the country. Do you know anything about Alaska?
Only that Sarah Palin was the governor, and I love Sarah Palin.
Yeah?
I watch Fox News. My soul is safe.
We're here with, do you go by Glinner now?
Glinner.
Glinner in the morning, probably the most famous person in Fairbanks, right?
That's pretty sad to say. Really? You gotta go there? You're in Alaska, for crying out loud. If our power goes out, you're screwed, dude. This is where you go to get away. America's Most Wanted, half of them are living right here.
I'm pretty nervous because, you know, I just never really addressed Fairbanks on stage before, so you know, it'll be fun to see what happens. So you're just here because it's beautiful, and you love your family.
Alaska is home to me. There's wilderness. I love being outdoors. I love the snow. I love the cold. I love being able to go fishing for salmon every year. There's really no other place that makes me feel like home than Alaska.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's people that love North Korea. You think there's people in North Korea? Like, I ain't never leaving North Korea. The scenery in North Korea is fantastic. Can't get this North Korean scenery anywhere else, not even in South Korea. I'm staying here in North Korea. Where's the bread line? I don't hate Alaska, do I? Well, they say all comedians hate themselves deep down, so maybe this explains a lot. Or maybe I'm going through puberty. Not sure. Every parking lot has rows of these outlets because if you don't plug your car in, warm up the engine, it won't start. Like, you can be pretty much insane and it's not going to bother anyone.
Well, I gotta be honest with you, my favorite topic is firearms.
How many guns do you own?
Lot.
50.
A lot.
This is a place, it's the last place you can go in America and do whatever you want.
I'm the president of the local chapter of the Alaska Machine Gun Association.
And if people don't like that, they're the odd person as opposed to the person that is making his own clothes and invented his own language.
Like I said, the draw is the adventure. I think the number one draw is people down in America, down in the States, lower 48, up here to the upper one. They're tired of the rat race. They want adventure in their life. They're tired of the commute and the suburbs and the strip malls and whatever. So they come up here. It's an adventurous, large place. Alaska is huge.
There's no one out there tonight.
They say space is the final frontier, but nobody lives in outer space. And I'm pretty sure those lazy Star Trek writers stole that line from Alaska's state motto, which is the last frontier. If you think about it, space and Alaska have quite a bit in common. Both are dark, vast, unexplored territories that we someday might have to inhabit when society crumbles. It's a place for people on the fringes. America's having a raging house party and Alaska's stuck in the basement. But rest assured, they're prepared. And when the society that casts them out eventually crumbles, Alaska will crack a beer and say, "I told you so."
You know, when it comes down, when the shit really hits the fan, this is probably the safest place in the world to be.
Back in Alaska, need to summarize complicated things. Back in Alaska, gonna waste the whole budget for this film.